Hello everybody, I'm Serti and welcome to Astro Colony. I don't know what episode we're on, but I've made some changes. First of all, I nearly died, so I stuck in an oxygen generator. That's using a bit of water, but we have lots of water stored. We're not keeping up with the ice, we're just not getting enough, and the ice that I had stored is dropping quickly. So we're going to have to work on that, which brings me to the next point. Okay, but first, I have put a lot of extra solar panels in. We're looking strong on power. We are producing 320. We're only using 180. And that is excellent. I put a battery in to see what it does, but yeah, it doesn't really do that much. It just sits there, I suppose, until we need it. And the reason I want to use a lot of solar panels is because they don't use up resources. I mean, mined resources. You don't have to have a conveyor belt feeding them or anything. So we need the carbon. So I want to do away with carbon power, and these they just run. So you spend the gold wire on building them, and after that you've just got power and you don't have to do anything else. So no stress. So what have we got up here? First of all, 12 auto catchers. The 12 auto catchers run on a pro belt into a connector. The ice gets pulled off. The ice will then go down under the floor to one of these pipes, and it's a transport pipe it is, and that will feed into our existing system. The rest of the stuff comes down into another connector. Now underneath here is a splitter that is set to push oh my, I think I made a mistake. Yeah, I'm going to have to fix that. I needed to only split the carbon out. And I wanted that to go, I don't know if I can do just carbon. Maybe that'll work. So it'll push and split. Okay, so that's going to split carbon out. 80% is going to carry on down the line. 20% is going to come into this machine because we're making bars and iron rods. We need carbon for iron rods. We also need plates. The plates will come from the constructor. I have a second smelter. Second smelter is just making bars because we need a lot of them. So, into the bars go in and into the constructor and make iron plates. The rods go in and make steel screws. We haven't made rods yet because the rods will need to come out of here. So, iron plates come out, they get pushed into this block, they get split. Half of them go back into this machine to make the rods. The other half carry on down what I would call the storage line. And then we get rods produced. The rods then come down this line. They get pushed into this splitter. It splits them evenly. 50% go back into the constructor to make the gears. Sorry, not the gears, the screws. And the other rods carry on onto the storage line. So in here we are having the plates made and we're having the screws made. The screws and plates come out and get pushed into a splitter over here. The splitter pushes half into a manufacturer, which with the plates makes iron wire and with the steel screws makes gears. The rest of the plates and the screws come back on and go into this main line, which will also accept the output of the manufacturer onto that line, which will then go into storage, which will be down in this area somewhere. So that pretty much wraps up our iron facility. It's not big. I didn't want to make it too big. I suppose I could scale it up and build this area somewhere else, but I wanted to check how this would all work together and whether we'd have enough resources coming in to keep this going. Right, so all the other material comes through on this line, which would be the copper and, well, there'll be carbon, copper, and gold. This smelter, which is probably going to move over a little bit, because I'd like to wall off the iron and have it in its own kind of little room. The copper and the gold will come out, they'll be split off, the copper will go and do its thing. There might be a second dedicated copper smelter. I might do 2 copper smelters and a gold smelter, I don't know yet. Depends on what's coming down the line. And they will go to their own facilities. So for copper, for example, we need copper plates. We need copper plates make copper wire, which makes electronic parts, which goes into motherboards, which goes into computers. The gold makes gold plate, which goes into gold wire, which also feeds into the computers. So those two kind of at the end gel together again. And from a manufacturing point of view, yeah, that's just where the plates are made into the gold wire. And then computers feed into electronic panels with metal frames, which are made from titanium, which is another thing that we'll have to deal with, because the facility here will deal with everything that's coming in from the catches. What comes in from the planets, I'm going to have to organize how that will reach an area and what that area will do. I don't know if I'm going to smelt on the planets or I'm just going to mine and put it back onto the base. That might be a better idea, because then I can just build a whole bunch of miners, completely exploit and take all the resources from a planetoid and then just leave that planetoid behind and move on to the next one. And yeah, that's where we are. So I'm going to carry on doing this, sort out the copper and gold facilities, and start emptying this bottom floor, because we don't really need any of this stuff anymore. This will then become the living quarters, the research area, food production, yeah, that kind of thing. It'll be a nice chill area, and obviously there will be distribution from planetoids that we link up to. So yeah, let me get stuck into that, and I will see you shortly. Took a little bit of a break after going a little bit ape on the base, and well, then I kind of did this. I got completely lost in building, and yeah, I just went and built, and well, now we have what's starting to look like a base. And yeah, it's pretty nice. We have, well, let's take a walk. So we have batteries. I've obviously extended the solar array quite a lot, so we've got like over 300, almost 400 power coming in. We have, well, let's start at the top. We have 12 asteroid catchers sitting on the roof, so it's all out of the way. Hello, little yellow box. Go to sleep. We are pulling the ice off in this direction, and it's heading towards our ice makers, our ice crushers. And then downstairs, there's still some things that I need to sort out. Over here we have a splitter that's underneath this belt. The splitter is just pushing 20% of the carbon off into this machine, obviously, because we need to make rods. The plates are being made in the constructor, and some of them are coming back. Well, they're supposed to be, but that's one of the issues I need to fix up. I misplaced something. So that would make rods, and that's obviously just making iron bars. This one is only making iron bars. And then they go into this machine. They're making plates. The bars are supposed to come in here to make the screws. There are some screws being produced, and this one is making some iron wire. So yeah, okay, so then we move on to the next room. This is our copper room. Copper's being siphoned off. Both of these machines are just making copper bars. Copper bars are going into this machine to make copper plate, and the copper plate's coming in here to make, this is making copper wire from some of the copper plates that are being produced in here, and some of that copper wire is coming back in here to make electronic parts, which are then coming back in here to make motherboards. And right now that's also a little issue that I need to sort out, because they aren't being produced properly. And then down in this little room we have our gold bars being made into gold plates, which are being made into gold wire, and the gold wire is coming back in here with supposedly circuit boards, no, motherboards, to make computers. Now it's made a couple, but I found a bit of an issue, so there's some belt work that I need to fix up there. That's what we have over here. And downstairs, we're sending the carbon into this big room, which I have other plans for as well, because obviously we need graphene. And so we're making carbon fiber with these two machines. And right now we're not putting them into storage. There is one line that comes out from the top, which comes through over here. I could add a couple of joints and a belt merger just to bring the carbon fiber down, but I don't want to bring all of it yet. And well, we've got a second storage container, and this is storing all the stuff from upstairs. Okay, over here we have our robot assembler. I've moved the lab, so that's busy operating. And right now we have a fair bit of science, which is nice, so we can advance a little. I moved the initial storage container from over there to over here, and then as far as the people go, we walk in here. This is where they get their books and they do some studying. There's plants, and we have bins. Okay, so this is the kind of mess hall. You got your tables to eat. We've got plenty of food stored over here. We've got lots of food stored in here. And the outside, I've switched both machines on for now. It's obviously using up water because, we're not producing enough. But there was a very important update while I was recording this episode, which I'm glad I caught. So yeah, we are. This was full at 5,600 stored, but that's dropping now because I've got 2 farms operating. But what I can tell you is I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do this yet. I might put another level on top of this one, but if we put down one of the auto catchers, mining, and we go and have a look at it, we can now select which resources that auto catcher catches. So that's pretty darn cool. There's no gold in here, which is a little strange because there are gold asteroids, but we can now set up a whole bunch purely dedicated to catching ice, which is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And we could even, because it does put a lot of strain on even the probe belts. Let's get my jetpack on so we can go back up. These 12 machines, they actually, I think this is probably the limit for the probe belt. They are moving the resources out of all of the machines without too much of a backup. Yep, all of the machines are being emptied, but if you put one more auto catcher on this line, it chokes it, and one of the machines just doesn't empty out. It's usually well, in my case, it was this one. So to be able to separate the ice out of here and just make some kind of a sort of ice farming spot somewhere over here, maybe up on a higher level, that will be really cool. So yeah, that's where I am at the moment. I didn't make this super impressive. I've stuck to using minimal amounts of material, so we don't have too many different types of materials being used. So generally the internal walls, I've used the blue wall, and there's what is the other one? Walls. I've used the blue metal for the outer walls, except for the side, because this is where I started. And then there's this is the wall panel blue. And then I've gone with these windows up at the top are glass wall, and then down at the bottom I've used different windows. Those windows down there are window. Oh, and because I was processing all of my aluminium into plates, I sort of ran at a bit of a loss because I used up all the resources on the planetoids. These doors, which are under gadgets, strangely enough, use aluminium bars, and I only had a few aluminium bars in the lab. So yeah, speaking of which, yeah, I have pretty much sucked everything off this rock. There's nothing of major importance left here. All my miners are sitting still, so this is going to have to get broken down, and we'll move to another planetoid. The anti-Borka one I set up because there's uranium here, so we're just basically processing uranium into uranium rods. There's a tiny little bit of titanium, but I'm not going to bother with that, so that's that one done. This one, this was the aluminium rock. All the aluminium is done. Right now I think I'm just collecting, what am I collecting? Carbon. And by accident I'm getting copper as well, because there was a whole bunch of copper above this carbon deposit. So yeah, the carbon's basically done on this planet. So that's where we stand at the moment. I've created an area down on this side, and I'm thinking in future I may only have 2 planetoids attached. You can, by going into the docking station, you can create lines in or out. That'll bring resources in. So my plan would then be to actually, what I will probably do is build the miners, a whole bunch of them, wipe out all the resources, smelt them on this planet, and then bring them through over here to a whole bunch of constructors and whatever I need to bring in this area to process all of those resources that are coming in from the planetoids. So yeah, that is the plan. But I think I've gone way beyond the brief on this episode. But it is quite a nice little area, and we have a bit of space. I know that there's one more machine that I need to unlock, and I see no reason why we shouldn't do it now. If I can do it, I'm sure I can. I've got enough research. So let's have a look at where were you? This one. The remote fabricator. I don't know what it does. So in order to unlock it, we need to unlock high tech, which we can do, and then advanced robotics. And that needs 4 computers. And I don't know if that's just to make. Okay, I've got concrete. So let's build a fabricator and see what it does. Okay, so there's only one more kind of device that I need to unlock, and that's like the mega engine, which we can sort out in a coming episode. Right now, where is that new one? Okay, the remote fabricator. Select black hole. We can capture black holes. Have no idea what this is for. It chews up a lot of power. You can make fabricator. All right, we're going to have to investigate this one in a coming episode. Don't know what this is for yet. So yeah, I'm not going to fumble around trying to figure it out. It's got solar panels on it. Or yeah, why? Well, anyway, so yeah, that's where we are. So what I will do is I'm going to build probably a deck above this area. I don't want to get too much in the way of the solar panels, so somewhere above here, and then we'll put some of those auto catchers, and those auto catchers will bring in ice. I may have 5 or 4 or 6 or so of them, that just to see how many we need just to catch the ice rockets, the ice asteroids. Alright, so that'll end it. If you like this video, give us a like. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon for notifications so that you are notified when new videos come out. And drop us a comment. We know what you think, and I'm really enjoying this game. You get so immersed, you get lost. I'm really thoroughly enjoying it. Yeah, really good job. So until next time, Cheers.